All right, good morning. Let me finish getting everybody in here and then we'll go ahead and get started. So a couple things on the agenda to discuss, as well as knocking out our work for today. All right, hold on. I know I had Maddox on here, but he seems to have disappeared. Maybe it'll pop up here in just a second. Okay, so I put a couple of things in Google Classroom Stream. I meant to do it earlier, but I got stuck on looking at emails and some different stuff, and our pacing calendar, which I don't even know. I don't think for some reason that I even put out your November calendar. I started working on it and then I got distracted on something else and then forgot to even, I don't think that I finished it to be able to even give to you, and maybe that's why I didn't think about it. But anyway, sorry, I'll put that on my to-do list. I'm only a couple of days behind. It's only November 4th, so not too bad, I don't guess. All right, so a couple of things while I'm waiting to see if I've got any more jumping in. So the biggest thing is, I know we discussed it the other day, but I want to make sure that everybody across the board knows that Monday we're going to do a unit test. So as we're finishing up the next couple of days, we're finishing up World War II. We've got a unit test on World War II on Monday, and then we'll transition into our last couple of weeks. So again, I'm projecting that out of the third and final 6 weeks, the last week will be the week of exams. So that really takes us down to 5 weeks. This week was the first week of the 6 weeks, so that takes us down to 4 weeks left. And again, during these last 4 weeks, we do have, you're off next Wednesday for Veterans Day. You're off in what, 1, 2, and 3 more weeks for Thanksgiving. So there's a couple of days kind of sprinkled in, but really, once you think about it, we really don't have that much time left. So still a week and a half left of virtual. We got to make it through the rest of this week and then all of next week, and then we're back to in person. Knock on wood. I hope so, because it'll break my heart if we have to do any more virtual. It's killing me. But anyway, so couple of things. All right. Number one, we're going to finish up a couple of pages in your packet. The only thing that we're not going to do is your timeline activity, which is, I want you to, have to put in some effort, right? So do your timeline activity. Again, busting out those IDs if you haven't done it already. No section questions, just defining those terms. And then you can go ahead and be done with your packet, be done with your IDs. And then the biggest thing is focusing on your World War II project. So the next part is due tomorrow. I give you guys a couple of days so that you can pace yourself, because I know you've got other work to do besides just my class. But the idea is not to wait until the last minute. So I know that part 2 is due tomorrow, but that doesn't mean that I want you guys to wait until tomorrow at 8 o'clock at night to start working on it. That's not the point. So part 2 tomorrow, your main course, as it's called, is doing your PowerPoint. It's 8 slides total, minimum. Obviously, you can go over. One is your title slide, one is your works cited slide, correctly cited MLA formats. Use citationmachine.net to help you do it. So that's 2 out of your 8. So only 6 slides have to have at least 1 picture and 2 to 3 pieces of information. And with World War II, you could do a different topic for every slide and be done in a couple of minutes. You could do the war in Europe, the war in the Pacific. You could do the Holocaust. You could do the attack on Pearl Harbor. You could do segregation. You could do women on the home front. That's 6 slides. You literally could do a new topic for every slide, not take you but a couple of minutes, besides obviously making sure that you cite those sources. But that's tomorrow. And then the last and final piece, and I would highly encourage you to go ahead and bust this out either tomorrow or Friday, is your desserts that is due on Monday, which is your reflection. And all you're doing is telling me 3 things, okay? Number 1, what did you already know about World War II? Number 2, what did you learn about World War II? And number 3, kind of give me a summary, all right? Give me a quick summary of what happened during those 5 years before the U.S. entered, once the U.S. entered, and then at the end, which those 3 things should give you enough information to do your 1-page summary, okay? And again, I would highly suggest you work on that in the next couple of days so that you don't have to worry about that on Monday. And all you have to do Monday is review, and we'll do a review Zoom on Monday, knock out your unit test, and be ready to roll into our last few topics for the last 4 weeks of the semester. So anyway, that's what we have coming up. Let's go ahead. I guess I lost him. I don't know where he went to, but let's go ahead and get into it. We're finishing the last page in your packet, which is 21-5, another fill in the blank. And then we're going to finish that first page that we started yesterday about doing, it's like a matching activity, matching the place and the definition. So let's go ahead and get this done. And then I'll make sure that you guys don't have any questions about anything. Okay. All right. So this, like I said, is kind of wrapping up everything. All right. 21-5, section 1 says the Third Reich collapses. A says, as the Americans pushed east towards Germany, Hitler began a last offensive that became known as, and this is your answer, Battle of the Bulge. I get it. It's a lot to squeeze in. Battle of the Bulge. And Bulge is B-U-L-G-E. B-U-L-G-E. So Battle of the Bulge for A. All right, B says, by the end of February 1945, American troops had fought their way to the Rhine River, and that's R-H-I-N-E, Rhine River, which was Germany's last major line of defense in the West. All right, C is a date. C says on May 7th, 1945, Germany surrendered, and the next day was proclaimed VE Day for Victory in Europe Day, which I had a friend tell me, you know, she still buys the big calendars to put up at her house and stuff, and she's like, hey, what does this mean? It says VE Day. And I didn't realize the calendar still had it on there, but apparently so. And I said, that's Victory in Europe Day. That's the end of the war in Europe at the end of World War II. So I thought that was kind of cool. So May 7th, 1945. All right, section 2, finally getting to talk about Japan. It's been a little while since we talked about what's going on in the Pacific in detail. All right, section 2, Japan is defeated. A says American military planners decided to invade Hiroshima. All right, and we'll spell it for you. 2 words. First word is I-W-O. Second word is J-I-M-A. Hiroshima. So that American, in your second blank, is B-29 bombers. That goes in your second blank for A. B-29 bombers could land and refuel before bombing Japan. All right, B says the firebombing of Tokyo. That's your answer. Tokyo, and Tokyo is T-O-K-Y-O. Tokyo. Killed over 80,000 people and destroyed more than 250,000 buildings in the city. All right, C says, to aid a possible invasion of Japan, the United States captured the island of Okinawa. All right, I'm going to spell that one too. O-K-I-N-A-W-A, Okinawa. O-K-I-N-A-W-A. All right, D says, the American program to build an atomic bomb was codenamed the Manhattan Project. So that's your answer, and I'm gonna help you spell Manhattan. All right, MANHATTAN, Manhattan Project. Which we've discussed this pretty much off and on, but we did discuss the fact that we did not invite Russian scientists to come and work on this project. They're communist. We don't want communists to have atomic bomb technology in their hands. Is it going to make them mad after they see what we have? Yes. Is that going to be one of the things that leads to the Cold War? Yes. All that's coming, starting next week. Okay. All right, E says in 1942, Leo, and I'm not going to say his name right, I'm sorry, Szilard and Enrico Fermi built the world's first, nuclear reactor. Nuclear reactor. So nuclear, N-U-C-L-E-R, nuclear reactor. First nuclear reactor at the University of Chicago. All right, F says the Allies threatened Japan with, all right, here's what we're going to put. Again, it's a small blank. I get that. Threatened Japan with utter disaster. I didn't come up with how to phrase it. Utter disaster. If the nation did not surrender unconditionally, but the Japanese did not reply. So again, if you have time, and I considered putting this up as an option for extra credit, but I really wasn't sure how many people would even do it. But the movie that I talked about the other day, Unbroken, kind of talks about this because, again, he was a POW in Japan. But, you know, as the United States, we're not trying to be evil masterminds with this atomic bomb. We actually used our bomber planes for several weeks leading up to dropping the first atomic bomb, dropping flyers, written in Japanese, obviously, but dropping flyers all across Japan, and especially really heavy in the cities that we do bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, to inform the public. You know, we didn't tell them exactly what was coming, but we encouraged them, you know, let the Japanese government know that you guys need to surrender because something really bad is coming. So we kind of notified them. We gave them advance notice. We didn't just do it because we knew that civilian lives were going to be taken. And so we wanted to save people if possible. And of course, best case scenario was encourage the people to call for the government to surrender. Government doesn't respond. They definitely don't surrender. And we kind of talked about the reason why the other day. And a lot of it has to do with their hardcore beliefs that it's all about bringing honor and glory. And if you surrender, give in, then, you know, that's bringing shame. That's bringing shame to your country, shame to your people. You know, you just didn't do that. So anyway, sorry. All right, let's finish up. G says, faced with the massive destruction of the nuclear attacks and the shock of, and the shock of the Soviets, that's your answer for G. Soviets, S-O-V-I-E-T-S, Soviets, joining the Allies, the Japanese emperor ordered his government to surrender on August 15th, 1945. So we had all allies behind us saying that if we did launch a land invasion to Japan, it's going to happen. Okay. So we do drop the bomb. We don't drop it once. We drop it twice. We drop it on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. No, what am I saying? What am I saying? I don't know why I'm talking about the islands. Those are the islands. That's not the cities that we drop it on. we drop it on Hiroshima. Wait a minute. Is that right? Hold on. Hold on. I'm thinking of the islands, aren't I?
It's Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why I was blanking so bad on that. I had the islands on my mind. Like I was thinking of like Hiroshima and Okinawa, and I don't know. For some reason, I was blanking on the other cities. My bad. Okay, last three, and we're done. Section 3 says building a new world. President Roosevelt believed that a new international political organization would prevent another war. And he was instrumental in creating, so you can either put UN or you can put United Nations. So either one is right. So either UN or United Nations for A. All right, B says, at the Nuremberg trials, the International Military Tribunal tried German leaders suspected of war crimes. War crimes. All right, so why? Why are we having them put on trial for war crimes? What specifically have we uncovered and are just totally blown away by?
The Holocaust.
Yeah, absolutely, the Holocaust. So we have doctors, we have military officers, we have government leaders, we have hundreds of people that are going to be put on trial for crimes against humanity. And again, it's called the Nuremberg trials. There are a lot that choose to put it nicely, there are several that choose to commute their own sentences. I don't want to spell that out for you. I'm sure you know what I mean by that, but there are several that take care of it for us before it actually comes time for their trial. There's a lot that, don't even understand what they are guilty of, don't see that they did anything wrong. And if it's still on there, it was on Netflix that documented a Jewish lawyer who was going up against, he was the prosecuting attorney, or one of the prosecuting attorneys going up against these generals and doctors and government leaders that were being accused of crimes against humanity. And I can't imagine what that would be like, to know that it was, family and friends that they were taking the lives of, and you're going up against these individuals. And last but not least, C says the Allies did not put the Emperor of Japan on trial in order to avoid an uprising. In order to avoid an uprising. And it is talking about an uprising in Japan. They were worried about the Japanese being up in arms and, just fighting would still continue, or it might pick back up. Okay. Did anybody miss any on 21-5?
No.
Okay. All right, we're going to go and finish up. We started the other day with that reteaching activity. It says 21 reteaching activity. You're going to have to help me out because I didn't mark the ones that we did together yesterday. So tell me what we did yesterday, and then we're going to do some more together.
We did 1, 4, 11, and 12.
Okay, I think your volume down or something. I can hear you talking, but I can't quite hear what you're saying.
We did 1, which is C, 4 is D, 11 is B, and 12 is E.
Okay. All right, let's keep going then. All right, number 2 says Allies captured this island in order to have a launching base for an invasion of Japan, and that's talking about G, Okinawa. And I think that's why I had that on my mind. But 2 is G. All right, 3 says Admiral Nimitz' fleet ambushed and severely damaged the Japanese fleet, stopping the Japanese offensive in the Pacific, and that is J, Midway Islands. So J for number 3. All right, 5, these islands became bases for B-29s that firebombed Japan in 1945, and that is K. K, the Marina Islands. 6, Hitler's attempt to cut off Ally supplies coming through the Belgium city resulted in the Battle of the Bulge, and that is A, Antwerp for number 6. Number 7 says, despite suffering high casualties during this beach invasion, the Allies successfully carried out, oh, I think we did 7. 7 was I, but I think we did that one yesterday. 8, General Patton led American forces to capture this city on the edge of the German Empire, and that is F, Casablanca. F for 8. Number 9, Fat Man landed here, convincing the Japanese emperor to order Japan to surrender, and that is L, Nagasaki. And Fat Man is the nickname of the bomb that was dropped. They had the bombs that were dropped, like they decorated them. You know, that they put these peace medals that the Japanese had given us and kind of like sent them back, you know. So that's what they had nicknamed the atomic bomb. All right, 10, kamikaze pilots, we said those are suicide pilots, inflicted severe damage to the American ships during the largest naval battle, and that is H. Right? 10, H. And then we did 11 and 12. I believe that's right. Okay, there you go. So we kind of walked through it pretty fast. We hit the highlights. And that's exactly what that does. It just goes through major battles, turning points, major cities. So there you go. All right, all you have left is making sure that you bust out that timeline, which just walks through various battles and all that fun stuff. And all you gotta do is just follow the timeline for the answers. That won't take you but just a couple of minutes. All right, now what about questions? Questions, comments, concerns, anything about the project, anything about, I don't know, anything else?
What do I turn in the election thing for extra credit? Do I share it with you on Google Docs or something?
Okay, you're gonna have to say it one more time. I heard something about turning it in and extra credit, but that's all I heard.
The election thing, do I just send it to you through Google Docs? Like share it with you?
Yes, yes, that would be great.
All right.
Yes, that would be awesome. Yep, and I know that they're still waiting to call it on a couple of those big swing states, but you can go ahead and color in what has been officially projected, and that'll work.
Oh, I had, since the PDF would like make it look really weird, I just did it on a, like, I put each state somewhere else and just labeled it blue or red.
Okay, it'll be fine as long as I can tell what you colored them or what color they are, whether they went red or blue. It'll be fine. Yeah, just share it with me or email it to me.
Not all of them are finished because it was finished at like 12 a.m. for me.
Sorry, I still can't hear all of what you said.
Some states aren't listed since I was unawake at some of that time.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you should be good. All right. What about other questions? Any other questions?
Nope.
Okay. Blake, you good?
I'm good.
Okay. All right, good deal. Let's see, today's Wednesday. All right, well, we finished the packet. So unless there's something that you want to get together and meet on, I don't think we'll Zoom tomorrow just because we finished the packet faster than I meant to. And I want you to make sure that you've got time tomorrow to finish up or work on part 2 of your project and stuff. So I think we should be good not to Zoom tomorrow unless somebody needs me for something. But packet should be done now except for doing the timeline. Make sure that you define your terms for your IDs. and just get your project done. Hey guys, have a good afternoon.
Bye.